What's up, guys? I was out and about today and talking to some people about the economy and what's going on politically and just what's going on in the world, period. And I was just listening to people, and my goodness, man, people are so stuck in their ideals and their ways. And I'm very glad I'm not like that, right? If you talk to somebody that's politically on the left, they have one ideal, and you talk to somebody that's politically on the right, they have their ideals. And you know how that goes. And with me personally, I'm a very unique individual here on YouTube because I don't know too many people that talk about what I talk about. Right? Usually, when you go to a Bitcoin channel, they got all these charts and all they're talking about is Bitcoin. Or if you go to a silver or gold or precious metal channel, they pretty much all talk about, they'll talk about the economy, both of them, but they'll talk about that specific subject in that silver and gold or Bitcoin in their respects. But with me, I try to talk about a lot of different things. I talk about preps, I talk about politics, God, financial stuff with my Bitcoin and silver. But in particular, with Bitcoin and silver, they kind of like, they bump heads. You know what I mean? They're so stuck in their ways, both of them, people that stack silver and Bitcoin. And I was talking to somebody today who was a person that was big into the stocks, right? And I had some silver, and I showed it to him. I said, "Hey, man, you ever thought about buying silver?" And he just went off. I mean, he went off about silver. Oh, that's blah 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 blah, and that's nothing but nonsense, and that metal doesn't mean anything. And he's just going off and on, telling me why it doesn't work and this, that, and the third. I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Have you ever bought any?" He says, "No." I said, "Okay, so you never had any. You don't have any now?" He's like, "Nope, never had any, never bought any." And I think it's strange for someone. Now, it's one thing, again, everybody doesn't have stuff, but I've had a lot of different investments. I've had them all: real estate, stocks, bonds, a lot of different stocks, 401ks, IRAs, Ross, you name it. I've had it. Cash, you know what I mean? We've all had them. And it's funny to me for someone to tell someone that's not in the industry about the industry, right? And in particular, my Bitcoin stackers tell me that silver is not good and stuff like that, and then my silver or gold stackers tell me that Bitcoin is not real, it's not backed by anything, and all this other stuff. You know, and I'm gonna say this to you, right? If I wanted to learn something about a subject, right? If I wanted to learn about the stock market or investing, I'd probably go to someone that knows about it, and I'd probably go to somebody like Warren Buffett. If I wanted to learn about real estate, I learned, from a person that, invests a lot of real estate. When you listen to people on CNBC or these news outlets, they're just paid to analyze stuff, right? If you don't have any money put into it, excuse me, not just to analyze stuff, they have the wrong incentives when they're analyzing it, right? Because they have a 9 to 5 job, they do their job and then they leave, but they have no, they don't have a dog in the fight. They don't have any money invested into that. You know what I mean? They just look at some numbers and they say, "Oh, well, this is not good and this is not good," and then they go home and whatever their portfolio is whatever it is. But when I listen to these talking heads on TV or somebody that doesn't have these investments, it's just laughable to me. I've seen so many different news outlets get so many different things wrong, like the housing market in '08. These people swore to God that the all that stuff was great, but it wasn't. People have been wrong about a lot of different stocks like Tesla and other things. I think they're wrong about precious metals. I think they're wrong about Bitcoin. But in particular, I specialize in silver and Bitcoin. And, the Bitcoin is kind of the outlier of the situation because, people tell me it's not backed by anything. It's a pump and dump. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a scam, whatever. But the people that tell me that are the people that are not invested. And with all due respect, if you don't have any Bitcoin or if you've never invested in it and you haven't took the time and investing into it, do you think you know more than I do? And I'm not saying that to be funny. Just like the guy that was telling me about silver today. Now I'm not a silver expert, but I've been doing it close to 3 years now, and I have a lot of silver, and I've spent a lot of time in these short little 3 years. I put a lot of time into learning about it, and I put my money where my mouth is. And when somebody doesn't put their money where their mouth is, it just, to me, it goes one ear out of the other. So when you're telling me, Bitcoin is not good because Peter Schiff said is not good. Peter Schiff, in my opinion, I think he's almost to the point, excuse me, where he's trolling. You know what I mean? I mean, he's probably one of the worst money managers of all time. For someone that had a chance to get Bitcoin or given Bitcoin, not only did he not buy it, but he was offered to gives. I think he got some and lost it on the cold storage or something, lost his passcode or something. That little investment or the little Bitcoin he had would probably been bigger than the majority of his of his portfolio right now. But he didn't do that. So for him to go out here and say why Bitcoin's bad and all this other stuff, meanwhile Bitcoin is up from the beginning of when it first launched, big. It's up big, and everything is you know it costs less Bitcoins than it did in the beginning. And for him to be telling everybody that it's bad and this, that, and the third, and you don't have anything invested in it, and you don't have in it. Again, I take those people with advice with a grain of salt. So all I'm telling you guys is I'm not an expert on Bitcoin, but I have Bitcoin. And let's just say, I got a lot of silver and I got a decent amount of Bitcoin. And I've done, and more importantly, not just because whatever I have or don't have, I put a lot of hours into learning about it. And when you have someone that puts the time in, if I go to a mechanic shop, I'm going to ask his professional advice about cars because he knows about them. You know what I mean? I'm not going to ask a gardener or somebody that's working at a casino or something about cars. I'm going to go to the person that actually does that for a living or does it every day or studies it or has a, background in it. You know what I mean? So I'm not telling you not to leave me comments or say things to me, but, and if you're still on the fence on getting Bitcoin, this is specifically for Bitcoin. A lot of people have silver, but it just reminded me of this when the guy was talking about silver. Don't listen to the naysayers that don't know what they're talking about. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love.